Good Wednesday morning. Thanks for being with us on Kare 11 News Now. I'm Megan McPherson. Developing this morning, President Trump now says America can go it alone to secure the critical Strait of Hormuz after lashing out at NATO allies for not stepping in to help bring down surging global energy prices. That, as the president is pushing back against his first senior administration official to quit in opposition to the war. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Hi there. With the war showing no sign of slowing down, the State Department is now ordering U.S. embassies worldwide to immediately go through a security review, according to a cable NBC News reviewed, all because of the developing conflict in the Middle East. With the war's costs mounting, including a deadly missile strike in central Israel this morning, the Trump administration is stepping up the fight to take out Iranian firepower and secure the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. Military Central Command announcing it used multiple 5,000-pound bombs to target storage sites near the strait, holding Iranian missiles they say were threatening American ships.
We knocked out things that nobody thought were possible to knock out.
The push comes as Iran's effective blockade of that vital oil route keeps forcing gas prices up, and as President Trump has sought to pressure allies into helping secure and unblock it.
They don't want to help us, which is amazing. Amazing. And I didn't do a full court press because I think if I did, they probably would be, but we don't need help.
All as the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, Joe Kent, resigned in opposition to the war. The retired Green Beret and longtime Trump supporter writing, quote, "Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby."
It's a good thing that he's out because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was.
The White House press secretary saying the president had, quote, "strong and compelling evidence that Iran was going to attack the United States first." Democrats argue they haven't seen that clear evidence.
And nobody should know better than Joe Kent, who's in charge of counterterrorism.
Kent is not without his own controversies, and his statement has drawn rebukes for alleged anti-Semitic overtones. In Israel, officials announcing they killed Iran's intelligence minister overnight. Iran did not immediately respond to that claim, but has confirmed the deaths of two other key leaders, including Iran's top security official, considered the country's de facto leader. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
This morning, gas prices are surging to their highest price since 2023. Nationally, the average is creeping closer to $4 at $3.84 a gallon. Here in Minnesota, gas actually went down 1 cent to $3.43. The Twin Cities still seeing the highest prices at the pump. Tomorrow, Minnesotans will be able to pay their respects to the White Bear Lake soldier who was killed in an Iranian attack in Kuwait. A public visitation for Nicole Amor will be held at Mueller Memorial from 2 to 6 p.m. before Friday's private funeral. Amor's family is encouraging a donation to Operation Nikki's Embrace, an effort to build a greenhouse in her honor. We have a link on Kare11.com. This morning, a California nonprofit is acquiring one of Minnesota's largest healthcare systems, and it could mean some big changes for your wallet. Audrey Russo is in front of Alina's headquarters with more.
Now, if this deal is approved by regulators, what would stay the same, according to Alina, is the name and the fact that its headquarters is located in Minneapolis. That would also remain, but Sutter Health is based in California, so the two joining forces would mean some pretty big changes. Take a look at this. In a joint statement, the two healthcare systems say that by combining their resources, they would be able to offer more specialized care. They'd use AI to reduce administrative tasks for caregivers and improve patient access and affordability. Now, we spoke to a healthcare policy researcher at the U of M who disputes that last one.
Decades of research has shown in economics is that these types of mergers likely don't improve quality for patients at all. But one thing we do know with pretty good certainty is that they raise costs.
Now, when healthcare systems combine, that means that they're able to have more leverage to demand higher reimbursement rates from insurers. Those costs could then be turned around and passed on to the patient in the form of higher premiums. Now, Alina insists that this is not a merger. We did reach out to both Alina and Sutter for an interview, and we're still waiting to hear back. Back to you.
Today, Derek Thompson will be back in court for his federal sentencing. Thompson was convicted of killing 5 women in a high-speed crash in Minneapolis 3 years ago. Prosecutors say they're hoping to add more time to the end of his 58-year state sentence. Investigators say back in 2023, Thompson flew through a red light, going more than 90 miles an hour, hitting a van, killing all 5 women inside. A pistol and more than 2,000 fentanyl pills were also found inside his car. Thompson's sentencing is scheduled for 2 this afternoon. After more than 3 decades, Burnsville's police chief says she's stepping down at the end of May. Chief Tanya Schwarz led the department through tragic loss in 2024 when 2 of her officers and a firefighter paramedic were killed in the line of duty. In a statement, she alluded to the shooting, saying it shaped her in profound ways. Chief Schwarz was the department's first female sergeant, captain, and chief. Developing this morning, a new state audit is revealing how the Minnesota Department of Human Services handled kickback claims in autism centers. According to the report, the deputy legislative auditor says DHS told her team they didn't believe until last year they had the authority to investigate allegations of kickbacks. The audit includes 3 cases DHS did not refer to police or any other investigation agency. The cases were also not flagged for future investigation. The deputy legislative auditor says the problem is not just within the Autism Services program.
Does this seem to show that DHS wouldn't have investigated kickbacks across any of their programs?
That's correct. The laws that we are referring to, they apply to all Medicaid providers that are authorized by DHS.
Our Lou Ragoose took a deeper dive into this new audit. For that full story, head to our website, kare11.com. Developing this morning, we're tracking Governor Walz's proposed supplemental budget, including an expansion of the child care tax credit. Under his plan, parents with 2 or more kids under 5 could receive up to $6,000 depending on income level. That's triple the current amount. The governor also repitched 2 ideas that failed in the divided legislature last year. That includes reworking the sales tax to include services like bankers and attorneys and taxing large social media companies.
We'll get reforms where we need them. We will not get everything I want, I'm sure of that. But the legislature understands we're focused on very common themes here.
Republicans say tax increases are a non-starter, but they say they're open to finding common ground on some of the governor's anti-fraud proposals. At the state capitol, lawmakers are considering a bill to prevent a growing threat that may be hard to see, but one that's hitting your pocketbook. It's called strategic cargo theft, and it's driven by sophisticated, often multinational enterprises hitting every point in the supply chain, with losses now reaching $35 billion every year. The bill would set up an advisory group to create a more coordinated, quicker response across Minnesota, identifying patterns, repeat offenders, and expanding training.
We have to put up better mechanisms and better ways to collaborate so when something happens, we can share best practices and stay ahead.
Advocates hope to build on the state's financial crimes task force, a similar model they say would work well here. The bill was already heard in a House committee and is now awaiting a hearing in the Senate. An update this morning out of the state capitol. It looks like Harveys law has stalled after failing to make it out of committee. The bill would have required cameras in infant and toddler rooms in licensed child care centers getting state money. It's named after 11-month-old Harvey Mucklebust, who was killed at a daycare in Savage last fall. After a heated debate, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say they need more time to work through concerns about adding cameras.
No other state has passed a mandate like this, and a 1-paragraph bill that doesn't address the very valid concerns that we've heard about opening up our child care centers to hackers, abusers, potential closure. That means it's just simply not ready to become law.
This should not be the end of the discussion. This is so important.
A law passed last year already requires cameras at any child care center with active violations. That goes into effect July 1st. Breaking overnight in New York, a tentative deal between the WNBA and its players' union is heading for a vote. The two sides announced an agreement ending an 8-day stretch of marathon negotiations. Right now, they are not sharing the details of this deal, but Commissioner Kathy Engelbert confirms to reporters they were able to avoid delays for the upcoming season, which tips off in May. The players and the Board of Governors will need to vote on it. Stick with us. More news and weather is coming up after the break.